Hey, boys and girls. It's time for Uncle Jay Explains the News. Now here's the guy who helps little minds understand big news stories, Uncle Jay.
Hi, boys and girls. Well, even with all the bad news that's out there are still a few things that we can look forward to and be happy about. The Jonas Brothers 3D concert movie gives you a chance to rock out, and it gives your parents a chance to tell you again that the Beatles were your grandparents. Okay, Uncle Jay's news word for this week is something we saw quite a lot of: tradition. When people do something again and again for many years, and you ask why they still do it and they tell you to shut up, that's a tradition. For instance, every year the president presents his budget to Congress, and every year he's accused of fudging the numbers. They all haggle until they agree on the flavor of fudge for that year. This year's budget is $3 trillion, thousands of pages long. Now, hopefully sometime soon there will be a condensed version that makes it a little more understandable for people like you and me. And as time goes by, more publications will come out that try to explain the plan in ordinary language. President Obama, to present his budget, gave a big speech to Congress. This is a tradition that goes back to America's beginning, where a president makes Congress stand up and sit down over and over again to get them in shape for the tough job ahead. Every time Mr. Obama said he would solve a crisis that Congress created, they stood up and cheered like he was talking about somebody else. Now, after the speech, there is a criticism of the speech from the other party, and the custom here is to make it 10 times more painful to watch than the original speech. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal set a new standard here by talking to voters as if they were all preschoolers. And considering who some of them elected, maybe he's onto something. And now it's time for our tradition to answer one of your news questions. This week it comes from Heather in Olympia, Washington. Hi, Heather. Heather writes, "Dear Uncle Jay, why are newspapers disappearing? Another one folded last week in Denver. What will happen if newspapers and journalism go away?" Thanks, Heather. Well, newspapers are having a hard time because they compete now with news on the internet and blogs on the internet and other stuff on the internet. Newspapers are working very hard to adapt to the web and to relate to the younger audience and the social networks that they use. We're going to have to wait and see how far they're willing to go to adjust what they do to the way we get information now. Don't forget, you can send your questions and see more at www.UncleJayExplains.com. Check back every Monday when Uncle Jay explains the news. And remember, a great kid is great news.